Nationwide, a childcare crisis, and it's only gotten worse over the last decade.
And according to Care.com, childcare is unaffordable for the majority of families. In 2023, nannies typically cost more than $700 per week, and daycares averaged nearly $300 per week.
Childcare Aware of America, a nonprofit working to make childcare more affordable, says it adds up quickly. Families pay on average almost $11,000 annually. This has some parents choosing to stay home with children, while others say they can't afford to not work.
Reporter Kristin Crowley introduces us to families who have faced these tough choices and shares advice from experts who say now is the time to get creative.
Guess what, Cooper? There's a bunny on the truck.
Robin Barnes loves being a mom to 2-year-old Cooper.
Yes, you put the truck in the house.
But she says she doesn't necessarily love everything that comes with it.
How difficult is it to afford childcare?
So I would definitely say that at this point, even for just one child in daycare, that is actually eating into retirement.
Washington, D.C., where Robin works, tops all 50 states as the most expensive place for nannies, babysitters, and daycares.
The nursery schools were running about $2,300 a month, which was definitely more than I expected. Here in Maryland, it's a little bit less. So we were able to get the infant care for $1,700.
Even so, Robin says about a quarter of their household income goes to daycare costs, and the alternatives aren't much better.
Could you give up your job, or could your husband give up his job to stay at home?
No. In this area, it definitely takes two incomes to get by.
The Department of Health and Human Services said childcare is considered affordable when it costs families no more than 7% of their household income. But across the board, families today are spending on average 27%.
Honestly, it's changed my entire life.
Outside Louisville, Olivia Bartlett worked out the math, and childcare just didn't add up.
Paying for childcare is about as much as it is to pay for our mortgage.
The mother and former early childhood educator had to quit her job in 2021.
If childcare costs hadn't been an issue, would you have still worked?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
With 4 children between the ages of 11 and 4, she says she can't afford to work.
I was going to be spending my entire paycheck on childcare, so it just didn't make sense.
And she's not alone. Care.com's 2022 survey reports that increasing childcare costs have caused nearly a quarter of all working parents to leave the job force. In fact, according to research by independent think tank the Century Foundation, childcare issues are projected to cost parents across the country $9 billion a year in lost earnings.
Is childcare affordable?
No, it's not. And I don't think it's affordable for anyone. I mean, I don't understand how anyone can make this work in this economy.
Tori Ulrich is the president and CEO of Chicago Supersitters, a babysitting placement service that specializes in part-time care.
I think COVID really blew things way up. Childcare options went down, so costs went up, supply and demand.
And post-COVID recovery in the childcare sector has been slow. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, as of August 2023, it was still down more than 40,000 jobs since the start of the pandemic.
I think that there was a really big misconception for a long time how much childcare was worth. And I think that that's actually the shift. I think that childcare workers are demanding what they're worth. I think that it's become a little bit more acceptable to ask for more based on your skill set.
But she admits it's creating a difficult problem.
I think that parents pay more than they can. I think that childcare workers are paid less than they should be. I wish I had a solution.
Families like the Bartletts say the federal government should step in and bridge the gap.
The ultimate goal for me would be universal childcare.
And some state and federal childcare funding is available. Has your family been able to benefit from that at all?
Unfortunately, no, we have not. I have applied multiple times. We just barely make too much to be able to get any sort of childcare assistance.
Senator Pat Murray knows what it's like to be a working mom to small children.
The childcare crisis is really holding families back and our entire economy.
Since 2017, she's been fighting for legislation to make it so that no family spends more than 7% of their income on childcare.
Yeah, I think this is a critical move forward for our country. It doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, if you can't get childcare, or if you have unsafe childcare, or if it's a barrier for your business, it hurts all of us.
While the bill has not yet passed, Murray did secure a nearly $2 billion increase in childcare funding at the end of 2022.
I'm trying to build on that now as we address this today.
In the meantime, Ulrich says parents should try to think outside the box.
If budget is your big boundary, think about that and get creative. Does this mean coming together with some of your friends and maybe it's you look after the kids on Monday, I look after them on Tuesday. Who can work from home and what does that mean? Is grandma an option?
Uh-oh, the house fell apart.
Back at the Barnes household,
It would be great if I didn't have to worry about it.
Robin says they're going to continue making the best out of a tough situation.
It definitely means that you have to have a budget and even cut back in some areas. Good boy.
Because this is their most precious investment.
For a closer look at childcare cost in your community, Care.com has a map breaking down nanny and daycare rates by state. Their website also offers more tips on how to save on childcare. For example, you can look into a dependent care flexible spending account or see if you qualify for the Child and Dependent Care Tax Credit. For more information, including an in-depth look at how to navigate licensed or unlicensed childcare, go to investigatetv.com and search daycare.